What's up, guys? Welcome to Outdoors Podcast. I'm going camping tonight, and I'm taking you with me. So why am I going camping on the coldest night of the year? It's gonna be about 24 degrees tonight, and I'm gonna sleep in the Jeep for no particular reason. I have a really comfortable RV to sleep in. As many of you know, my wife and I travel the country in search of a new place to live outside of our home in St. Louis, and we're up in the Pacific Northwest, and I just decided, hey, I want to try and convert the Jeep into a little mobile camper. So I've done just a little bit of work, spent under a couple $100, and really made it into a really fun little camper. So I'm going to test it out tonight. That's just kind of part of the process of building it out, and I'm just going to go spend the night in the really cold, and nothing really fancy, but I drove about a half an hour away from where Sarah's sleeping, or where we've been staying, and I'm just gonna check it out and see how I can survive in the Jeep for, a night in the cold. Let's get into it. All right, well, I just pulled up to the campsite. It's nothing special, and it doesn't need to be, because quite frankly, I'm basically gonna spend the entire night in the car. So the goal is to just have a quiet place to park where it's legal to camp. I paid my $15 fee, and I can just basically use this as a place to set up, try things out, see if I can sleep comfortably in the Jeep, see if it stays a little warmer in here, and kind of go through those processes. So, the goal for right now is to just really get camp set up and to see how comfortable I can make myself in the next maybe hour or so before the sun goes down. I'm kind of buried behind some trees, so I'm not going to get a ton of light back here, which is fine. And we'll just kind of put it together, and I'll show you as it develops what it looks like to get the camper going. I'm not going to completely build my bed out just yet because I want to leave some room for cooking, but I'll show you that as we go. So here we go. So while I was cruising around in REI recently, I came across this literally out of box but completely brand new Exped Megamat 10 MW, which is, I believe, their kind of middle size, and this thing is incredible. So for those of you that have been following the channel for a long time, you know that we had a rooftop box rip open in South Dakota, and my Mac that I used to use for this setup flew out and disappeared forever. And it's been basically impossible to find something that was similar, but this is even better. Let me show you how this works. All right, while the mat is inflating, let's put the lights up. Now, you may notice that I have some weird little tabs, these little things that are kind of hanging around the Jeep in various places. Well, these are literally tabs from like things of cream or half and half, and what I use them for is hanging the lights. They actually slide in between the trim pieces and the ceiling liner, and they work really, really well for holding these little lights up. And this is literally just a little set of string lights from Ikea. They glow really nicely in the night, especially when this is all sealed up and it's dark. I'll show you when we get there. But they run on a couple of AA batteries, and I just have a magnet over here on this pillar that they just clip to, and then I'll start running them around the bus or around the Jeep. All right, so one thing that's gonna make the Jeep feel a lot cozier tonight, both temperature-wise and privacy-wise, are these inserts that I've made for all the windows. Now, this is made out of a material called Reflectix. It's basically a sheet of bubble wrap with 2 sheets of Mylar on both sides of the bubble wrap, or 1 on each side. And it's really good at blocking the cold from coming in and the heat from coming back out of those windows. So I've got one of these for every one. So once the light gets darker, I'm gonna stick these in. Right now, I wanna take advantage of the natural light that I've got out here. Now, if you've seen my old video on how I customized our old Jeep Dutch, which was about a year ago for camping and for other kind of just fun stuff, you may have seen this before, but I do have a slide out tray. This is just a big piece of plywood that operates on some slides, and it forms just a work surface. It's great for cooking. I'm gonna cook my dinner out here later on, as well as gives you a great place to rig up fly rods and other things like that. So one of the other ways that I've made this a little bit more cozy and just really simple, but it doesn't really eat up a lot of space in the back of the Jeep as it is. All right, well, as you can see, the pad itself is really filling up nicely. This really goes a long way on its own if you just give it 15 or 20 minutes of having the inflate valve open. But Dan Becker turned me on to this little thing. This is literally called the Flex Tail Gear Tiny Pump. You can get these on Amazon. They're like 20 bucks. And they come with all kinds of little adapters, and this thing's gonna fill it up the rest of the way in absolutely no time. I don't know about any of you, but I actually really like to sleep with a body pillow at home. I pretty much just curl around the thing while I'm sleeping, and it's really something that I lack when I'm in the woods, whether it be in a tent or in the car or anywhere else. Well, recently I went on to Amazon, and just on a whim, I searched for inflatable body pillows, and what do you know, I found one. So I have no idea whether this is gonna be comfortable or whether I'm gonna sleep well with it, but I'm gonna give it a try. So let's use our tiny pump and get this thing inflated. Look at that thing. It's pretty sweet. All right, so kind of finally in getting this thing put together, I really brought a bunch of different types of insulation. I brought sleeping bags, and I brought quilts, and I brought all kinds of other things. I'm just gonna try to get away with my 20-degree incubator hammock quilt, or my 20-degree Burrow top quilt. It's a really fantastic product from Hammock Gear. I've had this thing for a number of years. Should be good down to 20 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and get it lofted up and get it in there and just let it kind of really do its thing when it comes to the down goes. And I'm gonna try and just sleep with pillow and this quilt. I've got a bunch of other stuff that I can layer with it if I get cold, but this is where I'm gonna start tonight. All right, guys, let me go ahead and show you what the general gist of the camper is, right? You got the bed over here. This is 72 inches long. It's 30 inches wide, and it's basically the left 2 seats, or the center seat and the left seat folded down, and then you've got the full right seat. I've got a Fishpond cooler right there that's got some food and some snacks. I've got a full gallon of water right here. This is essentially going to turn into a urine bottle so that during the middle of the night, if I need to pee, I don't need to leave the camper and go outside into the cold and ruin the little bit of warmth that I've got in here. Obviously, I got all the lights going right above head. And then over here, I leave this seat down because this creates a great place to sit, and you can just get in here. You've got plenty of room to have your legs. You can close the door, and then you're completely sealed in. Now, obviously, I've got the back open right now, but you've got a spot here in the morning. You can push this over. There's room to make coffee or cook if you need to. You can sit and read a book if it's raining, or watch your iPad, which I plan on doing tonight. I actually have a mount that goes on the back here that holds the iPad, so you can sit here and watch kind of TV, if you will. The sunroof brings in some light in the morning, which is really nice, or you can close that if you want to. This is also a great spot that you can change your clothes. You can put on a different set of shoes. You can leave your boots outside. At some point, I hope to have an awning outside over the top of me where I could have a little fire pit and just get outside no matter whether it's raining or not. But in the meantime, this makes for a super simple conversion that allows you to turn just about any midsize SUV into a fun little overnight camper. So I will report back shortly on what I'm doing, as well as dinner, and then I'll show you what it's like once we get all cozied in for bed. All right, guys, well, here's an update. It may not be a good sign. I already got a little cold and turned the Jeep back on so that I could get a little bit of heat going through the Jeep. Might not be a good sign if I'm planning on staying here, because I'm sure it's 33 degrees out right now, and it's gonna get a lot colder tonight, and I've only been out here for like an hour. All right, guys, so I've been sitting here in the Jeep for a couple hours now, and I kind of got things figured out. I'm really kind of enjoying myself. I'm starting to change clothes a little bit and get into more of my nighttime layers, and I'll just kind of show you what I got going on. All right, so I got a big down hood and some gloves. Probably won't use the gloves tonight. I've got a nice good pair of darn tough wool socks that are really comfortable and warm. I got a pair of Smart Wool Long John bottoms. I'm already wearing a pair of the Smart Wool Long John tops. And then I got a big thick pair of fleece pants from Redington that I'm gonna wear until I get in bed. Really, tonight I should just be down to the wool stuff, and that should allow me to breathe, but also keep me really, really warm. And then when I wake up in the morning, if I have had a little bit of precipitation, or if I have sweat a little bit during the night, I got some clothes that I can put on. But this is what I'm switching into right now. All right, guys, well, I'm hunkered down. I'm in bed, and I didn't really cook much. I pretty much just ate some kind of like snack sticks and some cheese, and had my little cheesecake, and then went to bed, had a couple of beers. I've just been laying in bed watching YouTube and hanging out, and so far I'm still warm. Everything's good. So I'll catch you guys in the morning and let you know how it went. All right, well, I just turned my car on. You can see it's about 28 degrees outside, so a little under freezing. And not gonna lie, I didn't sleep too great last night. I just couldn't get comfortable last night, and I don't think it was the pad. I think the pad was great. The pillows, I was having a hard time with the body pillow. I couldn't get it really under the quilt with any, reliability, where it wouldn't kind of poke out the side and then start letting in cold air. So back to the drawing board on that. Got to figure out the pillows, but that's why you come out on these little tester trips when it doesn't really matter, and you can easily bug out. You can easily head back home if you need to when things aren't working out for you, so that you can test out gear, you can figure out what works for you and what doesn't, and make your tweaks. So I've definitely got some tweaks. I've got a small list of things that I need to bring next time, things that I don't need to bring next time, and we're just gonna go from there. So I'll let you in on kind of how I continue to progress throughout the morning. All right, guys, so I'm sitting here in my seat. I've got my down quilt on. I have actually, as you can see, I've basically folded up my mattress, and now I'm just using my bed platform as a place to make some coffee and probably cook a little bit of breakfast. So I thought I'd just go through some of that stuff with you. So I'm kind of a fan of pour over coffee. I always bring like the little packets of instant, Starbucks and stuff like that, but I do enjoy a good cup of real coffee. So I always bring some coffee with me. I'm gonna use my High Bear Co. Adventure Flask this morning, along with my Jetboil stash to make my coffee. All right, well, I got fully packed up. I'm headed out. My hands are freezing. I should have put on my gloves. I didn't really make any breakfast. I just got my cup of coffee. I saw a breakfast restaurant on the way in here, and that's kind of part of the adventure of going out and doing these little trips, is discovering some of the things that are nearby, and you never know when you're just going to stumble across something incredible. So I'm actually going to stop by that little diner and see if I can get some breakfast there, and kind of finish out the trip from there. Look at how much light comes with just being out of the woods. That's wild. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know it's not my best work, but I think that, you know, ultimately you don't have to be finished to start using your little camper, your trailer, your RV, whatever it is that you're working on. It doesn't have to be finished. You don't have to have it all figured out to go try and do one of these little trips and, you know, have it work out for you. So I definitely learned a ton. I learned some of the things that I won't be bringing and some of the things that I will from the future. But more than anything else, I just had a good time and got some, you know, alone time to think and be by myself, and that was all worth it. So thanks for watching another video here on Outdoors Podcast. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.